ever meet. She makes you feel like you are her best friend, like she's known you forever. She's hilarious. She's so fun. She's just real. She's raw and she's vulnerable. And that's what we all want to be. So Fran, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. And do you mind passing me hosting abilities, or at least co-host? Okay. And yes, I get ghosted all the time, y'all. So when people come to me and they say people ghost me, I'm like, girl, I make 6 figures a month and people ghost me. Like, that's going to happen your whole career. Do not let the ghosting hold you back. And it's not even a hard no, you know? So, all right, let me know when I'm good and I'm good. Okay. Yay. Well, I'm really excited to share with you guys. I made a slideshow presentation. It's actually old. So when it says Dallas Regional from almost 2 years ago, don't pay attention to that. I've updated the slides. It's current information. It's actually so current that it's information that Katie and I have been learning in our Gold and Above training. And I've trained one other time on this last night. And so y'all are my second group to get this training. So it's pretty special, and I think it's going to really help you guys with some practical tips on how to recruit. And Katie's right. Even at this stage in my business, my personal goal is to recruit at least 3 people a month. Since the beginning of the year, since January, I've been averaging about 7 to 8 people a month. And that's because I am on a run. I want to hit Crown Diamond by the end of this year. And that means I need to recruit and find another leader. So that's what I'm doing. Let me share. Okay. And then it goes to, I got a new computer. So can y'all see that okay? Okay. Let me change. Okay. So recruiting and leading with the business. I am a huge believer in leading with the business. And people ask me this question a lot of times when I'm talking to people that are coming from another company and they're just so used to leading with the products. And they ask me, like, I never see you talk about product on your Facebook. Like, why is that? I have a really good reason for that. And I'll explain it to you guys just in case you're not leading with the business and you are leading with the products. Let me tell you why. It's really important for large scale growth to lead with the opportunity that we have. Number one, when you lead with the products, you are going to attract people who want to take the products, which is great. Customers are amazing, but customers don't duplicate. Customers are kind of like, you get a customer and that's great, but if you want to increase your income, you've got to go find another customer. And then you've got to go find another customer. And then you've got to go find another customer. And it's kind of you on your own doing it by yourself, which is fine if that's what you're comfortable with and what you like. My kids are still awake. I'm just warning you guys right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anyone else besides Katie caught my naked daughter running through the background just a couple minutes ago. And I'm just praying to God that doesn't happen again. Okay. Oh, that's my husband. Okay, he's not naked. Okay, so that's fine if that's what you want to do. It just becomes a little bit more of just you doing all the work on your own. Now, if your goal is to grow really quickly and duplicate really fast, you need to lead with the business. Why? When you lead with the business, when you put it out there that you've got amazing opportunity that can change somebody's life financially, you are going to attract people who want to work a business, who want to grow financially, who want to X, Y, and Z, pay off debt, go on vacation, quit their job, whatever it is. So you are finding somebody who's willing to duplicate with you. And the coolest thing about that, you guys, is you're also finding a customer. Because every ambassador we sign up is ordering product to become a product of the product. So you're getting like a 2-for-1, but you're almost like cloning yourself in a sense so that your business can actually grow. That's why we lead with the business. It's like if you go fishing, and so we have a lake kind of in our backyard, and we went to go ask the people, like, what kind of bait should we fish with? Because we have no idea. And they said, oh, okay, in this lake, you want to catch blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember what it was. You need to use this. So basically that's the same thing. What you are putting out there is kind of like what you're going to attract and what you're going to catch. And if you want to grow a big business, you want to put the business out there. Okay. That was just slide one. I talked forever on that. All right. So I want to get to the root of recruiting. So I feel like there's layers in recruiting, and I want to encourage you guys. When I started network marketing 6.5 years ago, it took me 2.5 months to recruit 3 people to rank up 1 time. Can you believe that? Okay, I'll say it again. When I first started network marketing and I had no idea what I was doing, it took me 2.5 months. That's what? 75 days to recruit 3 people, 1, 2, 3, to rank up 1 time, 2.5 months. Did I quit? Did I get discouraged? Did I stop? No, I knew that this was a new skill. This was a new thing I was learning. I was going to dig in. I was in it for the long haul. I saw the long-term vision of what network marketing could do. What if I got discouraged? What if I was like, oh, I'm no good at this. Nobody wants to buy. Everyone's ghosting me. Nobody wants to join my business. What if I did that? In 6.5 years down the line, we wouldn't have just made over $1 million in 2 years. Like, how crazy is that? That's not how I think, though. My thought is, let's learn this skill. Let's figure out how to do this, and let's apply it, and let's be disciplined and consistent, and let's think of the long term. So that's what I want you to do. A lot of times, though, the problem I see with people who are doing all the things and they're being really consistent, and they come to me and they say, hey, no one's wanting to jump on the call. No one's answering me. I can usually bring it back to the fact that they've had a little bit of trouble for whatever reason, building influence in their circle and building relationships. Maybe you've been in a time period of life where you've just kind of stayed indoors and not really made friends, and it's just been really busy, and you haven't really had those relationships, or you don't really have the influence that you once had over the people in your life, or maybe you've never had influence. And I will tell you guys, I spent a chunk of my life with negative influence. Like, people actively didn't want to be around me because I have some past addiction issues that, thank God, I've been sober for a really long time, but there was a time period in my life where I had negative influence. I want to say that to encourage you that regardless, you can build influence. Influence can be learned. And this is actually something you can research on your own if you want to learn more about it. But I'll go into a little bit of the ways that I gained influence and how you can start to do that as well. So a couple of the ways that research will say, like actual research of how you can gain influence, is connecting emotionally, which is really important to people, to connect emotionally. Be curious about others. What this means, you guys, is ask questions. Ask more questions than you talk about yourself. And I don't say that to be rude or funny. I mean, seriously, sometimes when we get nervous or we're awkward in situations, we just start talking. Turn that to asking questions. Get really curious about somebody. Find out about them. Just start asking questions and listen. People will feel valued, and they'll feel like you are a great listener, and they'll start to trust you if you truly want to learn more about them. Make people feel good. Think about the people that you really like to be around, and then really think about why. Is it because they make you feel less than, or they're looking down on you? No, they probably make you, for whatever reason, feel good about yourself. How can you make somebody feel good about themselves? Pay them a compliment. Shine a light on the things that they are good at and let them know that. Just make them feel good about themselves. High-powered body language, stand up. My mom always, when I was a kid, would always like correct our posture. It's gotten worse after nursing so many babies in so many years. But if you're confident in your posture, and like, so if I was like this, you'd be like, oh, what's wrong with her? But if you're up straight and you're smiling and you're energetic, people are going to be like, she is confident in what she has, etc. And they're going to trust you a little bit more that way too. Be vulnerable, tell a story. If you'll notice on my Facebook page, I don't put my negativity out there by any means, but I am always vulnerable and transparent with the things that I know I have a solution for, right? So I will present my past problems like, hey, I had a problem with addiction. I've been recovered for a really long time. I told you guys that. I don't even know y'all. I know some of y'all. I know Beverly. I know Miranda. I know some of you guys, but I don't know all of you guys. And I just put that out there. Why? Because it's not a current problem in my life. And I know that that experience is going to help a lot of people. So there's a positivity behind that that makes people trust me a little bit more when I'm that honest about myself. So what can you be honest about and vulnerable with? Because then that's also an emotional connection. Ask for favors. We will talk about this in a little bit. You'll see where, but actually asking somebody for favors, asking them to help you with something, makes them think more highly of you. Let's see, daily goal. If you want to try to gain some influence over people in your life, make it a daily goal, at least once a day, of how you can serve somebody else. Make it a random act. Whatever it is, how can you be a servant to somebody? If people know that you are constantly thinking about them and how you can help meet their needs, they are less likely to think you're trying to get something out of them when you present this opportunity to them. But if you're constantly kind of like taking little pieces of people to see like, ooh, this, like you're trying to make it to where you're more comfortable, then they're automatically going to think she's trying to sell me something. They'll get really like weird about it. So see how you can start serving others in your everyday life. All right, let me see if I can make my technology work. Okay. All right, second part of why sometimes people are having issues with recruiting outside of influence is building a network. So maybe they have a small network, maybe they weren't expanding their network. And so this is something that I started to do that's really important for y'all to do now. Even if you still have a warm market that you're working through, it is imperative. If you want to still be recruiting people 6.5 years later into your network marketing journey, like I am, to continuously expand your warm market. How do you do this? There's a ton of different ways. I am pretty shy and introverted, kind of weird because I can do things like this and I kind of like put all that energy out there. But in my real life, like I don't go out a lot. We moved to a new place 2.5 years ago. I know like our church family and stuff like that, but I don't know a whole lot of people in this area. One of the greatest ways that I have expanded my network has been on Facebook, joining Facebook groups. Now, this would be a whole nother training for you guys if I talk to y'all about how I do it, but just so you can kind of get a start, because you all should be doing this, constantly adding new people to your network. Join Facebook groups on topics that really interest you. Like for me, it's been raising kids, right? That's what I've been doing for the last 7.5 years, is raising kids. So I join a lot of mommy Facebook groups, and I don't join them and start posting my business. I don't do that. It's a slow process, but if you're doing this while you're working through your warm market, it's okay, because you still have time. But I just start building relationships. I just start making friends. I start adding value to the group. I start giving my advice and my opinions on things. I just kind of start making friends, and then can immediately move them into my warm market after I've warmed them up. I never run out of people to talk to, ever. When you run out of people to talk to, that's when it gets a little bit scary, because you're going to have a dry spell until you start finding some more relationships that you can basically reach out to people. Okay. The other thing that's really important, and this is something you need to work on immediately, and we'll talk about why in a second, is your mindset. And what your mindset is, not only about yourself, but about this opportunity that we have. So one of my problems 6.5 years ago when I joined my first company was probably my mindset. I had judged really, really hard network marketing, like really, really, really bad. And I used to judge the people that would post about it. I'd be like, are you her? She's doing it now too. Like, what is this? Some kind of cult? So when I came into network marketing, I knew what I used to think about people. And so I was like, ooh, and I probably deserved it, but that made my mindset kind of, so I would, think about that person. I'd really want them to be on my team or to reach out to them. And my first thought was, oh, she wouldn't want to do this with me. Did I even ask her? No. Did she ever say that? No, but that was my mindset. So kind of take a step back and evaluate your mindset. What goes through your head? What do you really think about yourself? What do you really think about this company and this opportunity? If it's negative, we've got to work on that. You've got to build some belief, draw on Katie's belief if you need to, but what you think is what you're going to put out there. And if you're not confident, people are going to pick up on that and they're going to be like, she doesn't even like the company she's with. Why would I join her? Right? One of the things that has drawn some of these really amazing people to join me has been my confidence and my excitement. And that's something that is very authentic. And that's what you need to kind of grab a hold of. It will affect your outcome, hands down. Okay, so you want to be looking for Class A prospects to start inviting to take a look at your opportunity. We are going to talk about 3 different types of people and how to recruit each person specifically, but the kind of people that I want you guys to start thinking about are people with these qualities, because the quicker you can get this kind of person to join you in this business, the quicker your business is going to explode. If you are thinking to yourself, for whatever reason, I'm not even making money, why would anybody want to join me? I get told this all the time. I want you guys to remember Katie, who's now making $15,000 a month and is one of the top leaders in this company, myself, we all started at 0, and you have to recruit somebody to rank up. So we all recruited somebody without even having a paycheck. That's normal. Your biggest recruiting tool is the fact that you are getting mentored by Katie, who's one of the top ambassadors in this company. Y'all, that's amazing. Leverage her success to help you get your own. When I first joined and I was trying to get people to join me here, I first of all had left a steady, almost $4,000 a month income and starting from scratch. So I was like in a little bit of a worse place than I had been before. But my friend Tara is making $15,000 a month and she just joined 4 months ago. You've got to talk to my friend Tara. You've got to hear her story because she's going to teach me everything she knows about how we're going to have success. I'm going to the top and I want you to come with me. Are you in or are you out? Right? I hadn't made any money, but my friend Tara had. So remember that just because you haven't ranked up to X, Y, and Z, that's okay. You've got Katie or whoever your upline is. And if you're executive, elite, bronze, that's a substantial paycheck for somebody in network marketing. You are making probably about half, if not a full-time income from some of the people in your network. I was a social worker with a master's degree. That's very expensive. And I was bringing home $2,000 a month, working 50 hours a week. So do you think I would be super ecstatic about a bronze paycheck if I could do it from my home on my own terms? You bet I would. So just because you're not making what your goal is in 5 years to make doesn't mean what you're making now is not substantial to the person watching you. Okay, the qualities. I am like off on rabbit trails today. Self-starter, coachable, disciplined, work ethic, previous success in business, whether it's a traditional business or network marketing, it doesn't matter. Positive attitude, influential. You want to find those people who have influence over other people. So I always make the joke of find the person who suggests a juice cleanse and gets 10 people to buy it. Because no, that's like the worst thing in the world. And if somebody can influence somebody else to buy a juice cleanse, hey, drink juice for 3 days straight and don't eat food. That person has influence and you want that person on your team. That's kind of a joke, but not really. Really find that person. Okay. So when you're ready to start reaching out to people and you're going to start making that bold invitation. You got to be courageous. You got to be excited. You got to be bold because that shows confidence. Couple things that I prefer and what I train my team on. Number 1, please use the phone or use voice messaging. Very rarely, if people come back to me after sending a bunch of voice messages and say, hey, nobody's even listened or responded, I'll say, let's try to text it out. Maybe you have a network who's at work a lot and can't listen, or you have young babies who are nursing and don't want to listen. Maybe let's try a text message, but I always start people out on phone calls or voice texts. They can hear your excitement. It's professional, and it will set the standard. So there's 3 types of people that you can recruit. We'll talk about each person and the best way in which to recruit them. And this is what we learned from our Golden Above training from the president himself, Mr. Jake Spencer. So this comes from him, which is like from the source. No, I'm just kidding. Number 1, the person who looks up to you. So the person you have influence over. We all have people in our life that we have influence over. Some have more than others, but we all have it. Number 2, peer-to-peer, which is actually the hardest one to recruit, but the best for your business. And number 3, someone that we look up to. So somebody who maybe is super successful in business, super influential, really busy, that sort of person. Okay, so recruiting the first person. Okay, this is the person you have influence over. And remember, how you recruit and what you do is going to set the tone. Because the minute you start talking to somebody about the business or in any capacity at all, the minute that they reach out to you, you reach out to them, they are watching and you're actually starting the training process for them. Because what you do is what they're going to do. So if you do something with them that you then turn around and say, hey, this is what you need to do, they're going to say, you didn't do that with me. They're not going to know how it's modeled. They're not going to know what it's supposed to look like. But so many times I'll be on a 3-way call with somebody. Like one of my ambassadors has brought me in on a 3-way call, and I'll start to explain the system. And I'll say, much like how Katie got you on the call with me, you're going to be able to do that when you've got people. You're going to be able to get them on a call with Katie, and she's going to be able to help you. Much like how Katie sent you that opportunity call that you watched that got you interested, we have those every night of the week that you'll be able to invite your friends to. So I always point out when I'm helping an ambassador recruit how the system is literally in the moment being displayed for them so that it clicks in their mind. Yes, that's what they did with me. So make sure you're following it every single time. Okay, so when you are going to recruit somebody that you have influence over, this was where your listening skills come into play. Remember, we are talking to people, we're asking questions, and we're listening. If you can do that, inevitably, you are going to hear a problem somebody has. Whether it's they are so tired at work, oh my gosh, they don't have time to do anything. They get home and they just fall down on the couch. They're so exhausted. Gosh, COVID really hit me so hard last year. It's been so hard to pay my X, Y, and Z. I'm in so much debt now. Or man, it's been so hard to sleep. My mind keeps going. Listen, because people will tell you about their problems. People love to talk about their problems. Your job is to listen. When they start talking about problems, do not pounce. That's what he said. He said, don't bounce, like be cool, be calm and collected. A few days later is when you want to go back to them. And I kind of made it my own. He's a man, so he's like straight to the point. He's like, okay, listen. So I kind of made this into more of like a Francesca language for you guys. Take it or leave it, whatever you want to do. But you call them, obviously, and on the phone, you go, hey, our conversation that we had a couple of days ago really stuck in my mind. I could not stop thinking about how you were talking about how you were struggling to pay your rent, for example, whatever it is. I think I might have somebody that you want to talk to that's changed my life and has helped me create an income from home. I can't guarantee she'll have the time to chat soon. Remember, you're edifying your upline. You're making them appear very busy, very like it would be a really special thing for them to hop on the call. So I can't guarantee that she'd have any time to chat soon, but if I ask and she can, are you open to listening? In the meantime, if they say, yes, I'm open to listening, send an op call or get them on an op call so that they have a baseline knowledge, and then set up a chat with your upline, whoever that is. That's how you can recruit the person that you have influence over. Recruiting the second person. This is peer-to-peer. So this is the one that we were told is the hardest to recruit, but when you can recruit somebody who is peer-to-peer, it creates the most organic growth, and it's super fun to run with somebody like this. So this would be like Katie Abart. Katie Abart and I are peer-to-peer. So me recruiting Katie, heck yeah, that's a platinum team. Like that'd be amazing. It's Katie Trent, it's Brooke Lloyd, it's Brittany Hitch. These are all peer-to-peer relationships that I had. Super fun to run with, but the hardest to recruit because they're the ones that are going to judge us the most, right? Because we're on the same playing field. We're at the same life, whatever it is. They want to know that we are not looking down on them. We don't want to be egotistical. We don't want to be arrogant. We don't want to be the know-it-all. We really want to stay on their level. Jake even said, like, hey, make a joke about yourself, right? Like, make fun of yourself a little bit, laugh about yourself. It kind of equalizes things, and it really helps people take their guard down. Let's see. They want to know that they're seen as equally as important. So one of the things that I taught the group that I trained on last night, peer-to-peer are the people, if I'm really excited about a peer that I'm trying to recruit, I will send them product. I just sent out 2 huge boxes last week to 2 people that I'm super excited about because I want to show them that they are valuable to me, that I would love for them to join my team, but I'm also super confident in what we have here. No strings attached. Try these products. They've already gotten all the information. And I know that once they start trying some of their products, they're in, they're off, they're running. Okay. So Jake was kind of talking about like reaching out to peer-to-peer is kind of reaching out, acting like you have the hookup. So I did change the wording on this. I wish I had his. Okay, hold on. Because this is really, really funny what he said. Okay, this was his words. I wrote it down. Hey, listen, man, I'll do you a solid. I'll ask for a favor, but don't make me look stupid. So I was like, okay, I would never say that to somebody. So I'm going to change it up a little bit to make it more like myself. So this is what I came up with for this. Listening, right? So you know that they have goals, whatever it is. So I'm going to tell them a little bit about myself to put their guard down, being vulnerable, being transparent. So, hey, you know my goal of wanting to pay off debt and travel, right? That's really important to me. We've talked about this. And I know that you've wanted to plan for retirement, and that's important to you, whatever. I can try to connect you to my friend Tara, who's paid off $1,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, if you're open and you're serious about taking a look. And if they agree to that, of course, you're going to send them to a call first because that's part of the system. You want them to have a baseline knowledge of what we have here, and then you're going to set up a call with your upline. Okay, recruiting the third person. Oops. Okay, this is the people that have influence over you. These are people that are business owners. These are people that are really high-powered realtors, like super busy people that don't have a lot of time, that are running massive businesses that make you super nervous to reach out to, but this is when you want to suck up. This is when you want to basically say, you are so smart and I so respect you and your business knowledge that I would love for you to do me a favor and give me your opinion on this. You are going to have to make it super succinct. You're going to have to get to the point. They don't have a lot of time. When you ask to meet with them, it's going to be something like, I know you are so busy because you're so successful, you're crushing it, you're killing it, but I need 20 minutes of your time for you to do me a favor and take a look at this business I'm starting. I will bring you lunch. I'll meet you where you're at. Do you have that time for me? And when they say yes, you do that. You bring them products, you bring them lunch, you make it to where it's not going to take a long time. It's not going to be a huge presentation. If you need to bring your upline along with you to a meeting like this, that's fine too. But this is what I gave you, what you can say. I know you're so busy, totally crushing it. I need 20 minutes of your time. And you can even say, I need referrals of people in your area because I'm trying to expand my business there. This kind of person who's so busy running businesses might just be a connector for you. They might just have a lot of connections and a lot of influence over those connections. not a whole lot of time to actually be in the nitty gritty, but how amazing would it be if you could get in front of that person, they could connect you to all of their connections, all of the people they have influence over, and you could run with it, kind of like taprooting, right? So you could say something like, curious if you have any contacts in your area that we could present this business to. I will even give you credit for these people signing up. So you can make a commission yourself. You kind of just present it to them in that way of, I've got this business, I will give you credit for it. It won't take up too much of your time. I'll do the grunt work. You just want this person as a connector, basically. Okay, couple things to remember, a couple closing notes. This is all I've got, my last slide. Don't be the expert and keep it really, really simple. A lot of times people on my team will message me and say, I really want to reach out to this person. Here's the message I want to send. 9 times out of 10, I say, hey, let's simplify this a little bit. Let's loosen this up a little bit. This does not sound like you. This legitimately sounds like a contract that you would sign. Like, this is not how you talk. I always ask people to take a step back, put yourself in the position of the person you're messaging and say, if I was this person and I got this message knowing nothing about this business or how amazing it truly is, what would I think about this message? And if it's like, oh, just another one of those things, we need to loosen it up. We need to make it stand out. We need to make it more you. And most of the time when I come back to people with what I would say, they say, oh my gosh, that's so simple. Yes, yeah, I can see that. A lot of times people are just overthinking it and they just kind of need to simplify things. Okay, obviously make time to set up with your business partner. I should have edited that slide actually. Even if you know the answers, use third-party validation. That's so important. You are not running this business on your own. Why? Because the people you recruit don't want to run this business on their own. Don't make it look like you're on an island by yourself, because you're not, and they don't want to be. If you don't make this look simple to them and fun and supportive and a community, they're not going to want to join you. So even if you know the answers, still pull Katie in or whoever your upline is, because we need to show them that this is community-based and that they would have the same support that you have if they joined you. It also displays that system of duplication. So, okay, that's all I've got on my slides. I don't know, Katie, if you want to do anything else. I don't even know how long your team call is, but I'm happy to do whatever would help you.
That was incredible. I learned so much. Thank you so much. Can we open it up for Q&A?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Who all has questions? I know y'all do.
I do.
Hi, Katie.
Hey, Francesca. Thank you for that. That was amazing. So my question is, when you start building relationships with people via social media, Facebook, moms groups, other things like that, how long do you typically wait before you do ask the question about a business opportunity? I mean, is it just case by case? Do you?
Yes. And it depends on how desperate you are for new contacts, I guess I should say. So if you are doing this early on the way that I would hope that you guys can do it, and you still have your own warm market here, plenty of people to work through, it's really when I suggest you start, because that gives you enough of a runway to really create an influential, trusting friendship with these people. So, I mean, most of the time, so I started doing this years ago when, what I do is I join due date groups I've been pregnant 4 times in the last, 7.5 years. And so each time I'll join a due date group and specifically get to know a bunch of women from all over the US who are in literally the same boat as me. And we stay connected after the baby and whatever. And so, I mean, I'll spend months in a group getting to know people, and then I'll find a way to bring it onto my regular Facebook page. So one time I said, hey, we've known each other for so long and we've really gotten close, and I'd love to have more mom friends that I'm connecting with on my feed. Who would be okay with being friended? Comment here. hundreds of people. And so I made hundreds of friends. And then I started the process of interacting with their stuff, getting to know them on my normal Facebook page. And most of the time, people will then see my stuff. And because they trust me and they know me at that point, they reach out. But I mean, I would say I'd give it 3 months in the group and 3 months out of the group. But if you're in a little bit more of a crunch, you're going to have to find a way to kind of accelerate that. But that's why I would start now. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. There's a lot of different ways I've done it, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah, because like for me, I think, oh, well, I need to start building relationships. And then a week later, I think I'm going to get an ambassador out of it. So that 3 to 6 month range is good to know, because I am still very much in my warm market. So that's
good.
That's Thank you.
That's good. Yeah. Start now. Start now.
Okay. Somebody put in the comments or in the chat, on this recruit through people, do you only ask for connections or try and bring in third-party validation to get them to consider the business? So I guess the person who has influence over you is what they're.
Yeah. I mean, if they are somebody who catches the vision and is like, they see, you know, the compensation plan, you connect them, obviously bring your sponsor. If you're going to have a meeting like this, and maybe your sponsor's not local to you. So if you've got a local person, bring them. If not, maybe you can FaceTime I don't know, something. If you can get them to catch the vision and they want to run with it, great. The reason I think he said this is because most of the time, these people are really, really busy. They're probably making a lot of money. They're probably really successful and maybe not even considering network marketing. Does that make sense? So they'd be like, ooh, I don't really need to do that. I'm kind of busy. I've got all these other things going on. So it's easier for them to digest a source of income that really is passive for them. And if we can just use their connections, even if they're not going to be actively working, they're just going to connect us to people, then at least that's a way to have a connector. I mean, if they catch the vision and they want to run with it, heck yeah, let's go. But a lot of the time these people are just busy with their other projects anyways. So, I mean, let me tell, like, a top leader in another company, for example, or let's just say, because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, that's not necessarily this type 3 person. That is most of the times peer-to-peer. Do you know what I mean? Even if they're making more money than you, even if they're a higher rank than you, that's usually peer-to-peer. So.
Okay. Someone else asked, how many times a week do you post about the business or product on social media?
Probably 4 times a week about the business. I usually only post product in my stories. I use my stories for daily business stuff, product posting. I use my page probably 4 times a week for business. I use it a lot more for family stuff because I want people to, you know, follow me for me. I don't care how many times a week you post, as long as you are consistent and people know your business is open. It'd be like somebody coming to your page day after day after day after day, and you haven't posted. It'd be like you going to your favorite restaurant day after day after day, and the doors are locked. Eventually, you're going to find a new favorite restaurant. So it's just important, even if it's 4 times a week, 3 times a week, that you're consistent in your posting. I don't necessarily recommend you posting more than once a day. I mean, once a day would be max, in my opinion.
Okay, anyone else?
I'll go ahead and ask. I have about 3 right now that have been with network marketing before, and that we've all been there. Those of us that have been there before, but are really struggling with it. I just don't know if I can commit the time that it's going to take. And I've really tried to talk hard about, you know, that's why when we talk to you about your launch call, in your launch call, we talk about what do you think that you can commit, you know, and that we're making sure that whatever you can commit, that those are income producing time. It's not just, you know, being around on Facebook. So I guess my question is, how do you know, like, maybe they're not the person that you need to be recruiting, like to step away and maybe just look at them maybe as a customer, you know what I'm saying? The balance of like knowing when to, maybe it's not a good fit. I don't know.
Couple things. It's like a couple couple layers, I would say. So number one, the pre-qualification. So before you recruit them, like really asking those questions and making sure, sorry, I got a tickle in my throat, making sure that they are really wanting to work a business, that they want to have their auto ship on, that they're ready and willing to commit $200 investment where they're buying their products, they're getting their, whatever they're going to have their auto ship on. They are ready and willing to launch and reach out to 25 to 50 people in their first 48 hours, that they kind of understand like what goes into it, just making sure that this person is going to be serious and worth your time. Your time is valuable. So that's number one. If they make it past that phase and you launch them and that all goes well, and then they kind of start petering out. So them saying, I don't know if I have the time for this, all that stuff, it can mean a couple things. Number one, they are feeling defeated, right? They feel like they've done X, Y, and Z, no one's biting, etc. And they're just saying their defense mechanism is like, I'm stepping back, I'm not going to do this. So I would kind of dive into that. Is that what they're feeling? Is that what they're thinking? And then helping them like long-term vision, mindset, or they're wasting time, basically, like they're not being efficient in their time. And so instead of really focusing on the activities they need to complete, it's almost like getting not a lot done in a long period of time. So it feels like they're working all day when they're not. Does that make sense? So it kind of bleeds into all of your activities. Somebody that really, she gets it. So what I would do in that case, and maybe y'all can do this. I don't know. I love your like momentum wave. That group is so awesome. You guys have no idea what's coming in the next few months. It's like beyond exciting. You could even do like a meal prepping team call on Sunday night or whatever, where instead of like prepping your meals for the week, you're prepping your business hours. And so everybody comes to the table with their schedule and the 2 hours or the 1 hour, the 30, whatever it is of time each day. And you're actually planning out those slots of time of what you're going to do. Because it's just like meal planning. If you're trying to do Q Fit and you know you're super busy at work, like you've got a 30-minute time frame to eat lunch and you don't bring lunch to work, you're going through the drive-through. It's just going to happen because you're hungry and you need food now. So if you don't have it prepared, all your goals are out the window. So same thing with business. You've got 30 minutes. If they feel overwhelmed, they don't have a plan, they're going to do the easy thing, which is catch up on the team thread and scroll Facebook and get on TikTok, because TikTok is an amazing time suck, right? So, but if they have, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is what you do during this 30 minutes, they can bang it out. They've been really efficient. It's done. They can compartmentalize and then they go back to work. So I would try those things. And if they're just not willing to do that, then they're just not willing. And then you move on. So.
And that's what our Wave to Momentum group is going to be a lot about. Like we're going to have a calendar and there's something every single day to do. Like we have, like in the very beginning, you're going to have to make a list of 60 names and you have to reach out to 3 of those names every day. And we're putting like, let's say A, B, and C on day 1, D, E, and F on day 2. Well, let's say that F is like a really big, scary person. And normally if you were just going down the list, you're like, oh, I'm just going to pass over that. But it's on that day 2. So you're like, oh crap, like maybe I do need to, actually reach out to this person now, So it's going to be, there is something every single day to help people with getting into action and staying in action and creating those habits. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the recruiting third person down at the bottom where you said, trying to build my business in your area, curious if you have any contacts. I will even give you credit for them so you can make a commission yourself. Can you kind of elaborate on that? Like, are they someone that is going to be joining your business or someone that you're just getting contacts from? And then how do you, can you explain that a little bit more?
Okay, my daughters walked in and I thought she didn't have pants on. She had underwear on, so I'm sorry. This is my life. It is nuts. But she told me she thought she was going to throw up. I think she was kidding. So I sent her to her bathroom. But I think the first part of your question was the type 3 person and if you're actually recruiting them. Is that in a nutshell?
Yes. And what if you're just getting contacts from them, referrals from them? Is that what you're meaning at the bottom? You're going to give them credit for people that they refer
Yes.
to you? Okay. How does that work?
So then you would, if they were interested in that, you would kind of go into explaining them having a website, signing up, having a website. And as they connect you to people, obviously they would sign up with this person's website. So that's basically when Jake was kind of training us on this. He didn't go into full detail about that, but that's the track that he was going on. So that's what giving them credit means, is them signing up as a business builder, and the contacts they connect you to would obviously go under them.
Got it.
Good question. Okay, anyone else? I have one thing that I would love for you to elaborate on very quickly, please. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what would you tell people, like when, and I guess Ashley did kind of ask this, but when people bring others in and they're like, I just can't get them to do anything. And I mean, I guess reiterate, because at the very beginning you said, it is always my goal to recruit 2 to 3 new people every single month. Why is that your goal? Is it because people are falling off, right? And you're wanting to, so can you kind of go into a little bit more detail? Because I know that people do get down with, they have all of this momentum one month and they have all of, all these people who join them. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, like they would qualify them and all of the things. And now it's like, well, where are they? They're not wanting to do anything.
Yeah.
And
if you're also doing the thing where you get on a call with them and help them reach out to people. So that's one thing that I'll recommend. So if somebody's like, oh, I just can't find anybody and this and that, I'll say, hey, do you have 15 minutes? Bring your list. Let's hop on a Zoom. And I'll get them on a Zoom and we can set up a call just for them, even if we've done their Fab 5. And we can invite people to that call specifically for them together to see if that kind of gains some momentum. But if these people totally fall off, they're gone, bye-bye. That's why I never stop recruiting, ever. Because even my business coach will say, if you recruit 10 people, expect 3 of them to actually do something. And that's just human nature. People get excited, they impulsively sign up for something, they realize it's work, and then they quit. And that's human nature. I totally relate to that on exercise and diet stuff, like I get really excited, I'll do it for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh my God, I want a cheeseburger. So I get it. But that's why when I see somebody come into queue, completely take off, like rank up super, super quickly, and then all of a sudden they're struggling to maintain their rank, it's because they got into management mode. They got really excited about all these people joining and they thought, okay, cool. I've recruited my team and I can kind of sit back and manage the players. But that's no, like if that was the case, I would not be recruiting anymore. I know if I stop recruiting, I'm going to see attrition, and I don't want to see attrition. So I'm just going to keep bringing in new excitement and new people that I can help rank up to executive every single month. And it builds excitement and volume under the people you have brought in, which is going to help them with that long-term vision in the long run. So
love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody else before we jump off of here? Speak now. What do they say? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay. Well, Fran, thank you so much. This was absolutely amazing. I know it was exactly what I needed to hear, and more than likely everybody on this call. So really, really appreciate you taking your time out of your night to do this for us. And I hope that you have a great week. And thank you all for joining us tonight. Hope that you'll have an amazing week. I am leaving for Silver Summit on Thursday morning. I'm so excited. So I will be out of pocket for a couple of days, but super excited to bring back lots of incredible information for all of y'all. And like I said, don't forget to go to the our Rise Up page to check out the live video and comment if you want to be in that group, because it is going to be fire and it is starting on Monday, and super, super excited. So thank you all so much. Y'all have a great night.